The pledge.
I pledge the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the minutes. What are we going to do? We're going to approve the minutes first or recess? We're going to recess. Commissioners meeting, open the salary board meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor, aye. Open the salary board.
Motion to approve item, go ahead, Treasurer. Item
Well, I
3.
didn't actually have a chance.
I
to
did.
look
Motion
at
to approve
that,
item number 3 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 4 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Item 4, motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to approve item 4. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve item number 5 is listed on the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Treasurer Benedict to approve item 5 on the agenda. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 6.
Motion to approve item 6 is listed on the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Treasurer Benedict to approve item 6 on the agenda for the 2 floating holidays. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve item number 7 is listed on the agenda.
I need to read them first before I can make a motion, you know. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, seconded by Treasurer Benedict to approve item 7 on the agenda. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 8 is listed on the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Treasurer Benedict to approve item 8 on the agenda. Questions or comments? Yes.
Go ahead, you go.
Could you elaborate on the qualifying factors? Just put this.
Yeah, you know what? That amendment should be attached to the minutes, so
Right.
that's, yeah. Just attach what we did
Oh, all right.
as a part of the minutes, so when somebody looks back 2 years from now, they know what it is we changed.
Be happy to do that.
What it does is it clarifies the donated time that it has to be up to 10 days of absence, or it has to be approved FMLA absence,
What's FMLA?
family medical leave. There's certain criteria that fall under that. That way, if somebody comes back in 9 days, if it was a family medical leave qualification, then they're still eligible for the donated time. What you're trying not to do is set a system up where people say, well, I'll wait 2 more days, that way I can get donated time. What we're trying to do is...
You have to have extended 10 days.
Well, either 10 days or it has to be an approved FMLA. That's the criteria. The FMLA is the issue, and certain illnesses fall under the FMLA.
I thought we went to 7 days.
No.
We went with the or.
Yeah.
Right.
So once they're qualified
Right.
under Family Medical Leave Act,
Right.
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
That's a qualifying serious event
Right.
for which they become eligible for donated vacation time.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
I just have a question on that. So if you don't stay out for the full 10 days, if you try and come in, I mean, is this union, was this a union issue?
No.
If you try to come in, even though you qualify to be out,
How
Right.
did you qualify to be out? Were you
Because you-
qualified under Family Medical Leave?
well, I don't know what the
Yeah.
qualifications for that are.
Well, that's,
Something very serious.
then the 10 days doesn't, the serious is what the issue was. So we have said with this, that if you qualify for the Family Medical Leave Act, that's serious.
Okay.
You don't have to wait the 10 days.
Okay, all right.
That's
that
what
was
we
the part
tried
I
to
wasn't-
clear up.
Okay.
There
So
was,
if you're
I just wanted to make sure
an
that's-
employee, let's say you're an employee that qualifies under family medical leave, and you're out 8 days, and you say, listen, I don't want to wait 10 days, I want to go back to work. The doctor releases the individual to come back to work. They still qualify. Now, under the family medical leave, they're gonna have probably most likely additional time off due to the seriousness of their illness.
Correct.
But what we're trying to do is set it up so that the people can come back sooner.
And they can still get donated.
And they can still get the donated time under that.
Because
serious
eventually
illness.
they are gonna run out of their
Right.
own time. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you very much. I just wanted a little clarification.
Okay, item 9.
Motion to approve item number 9 is listed on the agenda.
And I'll say aye to that other one. Do we have a new, job description for this?
Yes, it's in.
Yeah, it was done a long time ago, and we were supposed to have done this months ago, and it slipped through the cracks, we didn't get it done. So yes, there has been.
This was what we got back from Steve
Right.
back, okay, all right.
It's in the commissioner.
Okay, then I have seen it, thank you.
Are you second?
Yes, I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Treasurer Benedict to approve item 9. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any public comment on the salary board? Hearing
Motion to
none.
close salary board, return to the commissioners meeting. Motion to approve item number 6 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to approve item 6, to ratify and approve the electronic transfers and cash disbursements. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 7 is listed on the agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to approve item 7 on the agenda. Is the following seminar and payment requests. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to recognize item number 8 is listed on the agenda. Patrick Parks.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to recognize Patrick Parks for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. Troop number 50.
Motion to approve item number 9 is listed on.
I'm sorry,
I
go ahead.
have a question about number 8.
No, yes.
Is there any other form of recognition other than just reading this out?
He was given a certificate. He's given a certificate from us,
By the commissioner?
by the commissioners.
Thank you.
Item 9.
Motion to approve item number 9 is listed on the agenda.
Second that. Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to approve item 9 on the agenda to proclaim May 11th through May 17th as National Police Week. Questions or comments? Lance Benedict is here to receive the proclamations and the certificates, and you'll take care of the distribution.
Thank you very much.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Motion to approve item number 10 is listed on the agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to approve item 10 on the agenda, the appointment of Jim Kessler to the Conservation District Board. Questions or comments? Yes?
Well, isn't he on the board now?
No? Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 11 is listed on the agenda.
Second that. Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to appoint Carl Tanner of Great Bend to the Library Board. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 12, and that should read reappoint. He had already been on there
Right.
lapse of time, so we're reappointing him back to that board.
I'll second that with the correction to reappoint Reuben Everett of Brackney to the Agricultural Land Preservation Board. Questions or comments? Yes.
What is that board? I've never heard of it. Can you explain what the agricultural
Yeah,
land?
what they do is we get grants, the county puts in money, state puts in money to preserve farmland. There's a conservation reserve easement goes on the land so they can't subdivide it. Every year there's a farm or two around the county that gets into this and they get a bunch of money for it.
So it's different than conservation with other, like the Rose Conservancy, or
Totally different.
it's totally
It's a
different?
combined state and county program.
Mm. And how long has this been in action? So-
20 years
Oh, yeah?
or been a long time.
Do the grant monies come through USDA?
No, we put in our own money, county money, and the state puts in money.
Thank you.
We don't get any money from
How
the
often
federal government.
does this group meet?
I don't know. I don't think they meet monthly,
And is it public? Is it public meetings?
of course.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 13 is listed on the agenda.
Second that. Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall, to acknowledge the hiring of Justin Sprout to the Detective K-9 officer position. Questions?
Wait a minute.
Wait a second, where are you?
13.
13, I'm sorry. 13, how did I get in? Right. 13, motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall for the exonerations for the tax claim group. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
14.
Motion to approve item number 14. Gonna resign, you wanna put transfer?
Well, we're gonna say,
I don't wanna lapse in any benefits. It's gotta be
Right.
stated in here that he's going from one position as a county employee, going to another position.
Number
right,
15.
so it's gonna say, needs to say resignation from deputy sheriff due to transfer to the Detective K-9.
Maybe they should all be one motion.
Could be all one motion.
Okay, 15 says with no break in benefit time under 15.
Right.
I just don't want any confusion about
Right,
what's happening.
I agree. So just combine the two together and say due to transfer to the K-9, Detective K-9 unit at $35,000 per year with no break in benefit.
Yes.
time. All right. Any questions or comments? Yes.
When you talk about Detective K-9, is that strictly with drug controls, or what is that involving?
That's working strictly for the district attorney.
For Jason Lake,
Yes.
The task force,
The
correct?
task force, yes.
which involves what?
You'd have to check with Jason on that. All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 16 is listed on the agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to appoint Bruce Butler to the non-union 911 operations training administrator. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 17 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to approve Linda Hunter of New Bedford to the non-union temporary photometry clerk typist range. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 18 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to approve item 18, the hiring of Betty Phillips of Halsted to the open union position, part-time registering recorder clerk typist. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 19 is listed on the agenda.
Second that. Motion by Commissioner Jean Greco, second by Commissioner Hall to accept the resignation of Stuart Slocum as Public Director of the Susquehanna County Conservation Board. Questions or comments? Yes?
Is this a paid position?
No. Conservation District Board's not paid position.
What does he do? Or what does the public director for the conservation district do?
As part of the Conservation Board, they review the projects for the conservation and basically set policy and procedure for the conservation environment.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, we have public comment on the commissioners meeting. Any public comment?
Motion to adjourn?
Oh,
Go ahead.
In the back.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you keep track of the pipeline placement in the county? Are you mapping that? Last week you were talking, last time I was here, you were talking about the assessment, the aerial assessment, you know? So I just wondered if pipeline would be involved in that, if you were going to be mapping out where it all is. And are you aware of where it all is?
We don't do it. It's on DEP's website. I do frequent that and look at the pipelines on that to see where the pipelines are running. And I've also, we've had a few that have come through with the, the Constitution pipeline. They dropped a map off of their proposed route. We've also had the Atlantis line drop off, proposed map for their route. So, but yeah, they're available on DEP's website as well as where the permitted well sites are, and that's where I normally go to reference and review that.
And that would be gathering lines, and how about the rubber stocking? The lines go, you would have a map of the pipeline.
Leather stocking would be required to have all those maps as to where they're running the low pressure lines.
And then you would have that.
We won't have them at the county. They will, most likely, if it's, would either have that at COG or any of the permitting stations.
And they'll be responsible for marking the, like a dump dig here, you know, call.
Right, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, like if it's coming through Bridgewater or coming through Montrose, the Montrose code enforcement, they'd be the ones that would have all the information on where those pipelines are, and they would have the documents for all that.
Ma'am, I want to answer a question you asked us last time. You got out of here before we were going to address, you had the issue on the water. The gas companies do not cooperate with us in telling us when there's a problem with anything. And what I wanted to tell you last time was a for instance. There has been problems with compressor stations burning up. There's been problems with leaks. There's been problems with spills. We were told as recently as, which is why I wanted to address it when you asked us, 2 days before our last meeting, there had been a problem with a leak from one of the gas companies. Our emergency management responders with most of the gas companies are very good. We want a call from them. We want to know ahead of time what's going on, because when a neighbor calls 911, before emergency management dispatches fire companies, they got to know what they're going into. We were told by a gas company, just before you asked that question, because they don't have to, we were told, our emergency management director was told, there is no regulation in the state that says we have to tell you anything. We will respond to DEP where we are required to do so. Well, that didn't go over too big with any of us. I can tell you it has gotten fixed since then, so that we think we have all the gas companies now on board that if there is any issue, just please give emergency management a phone call. Here's what's going on before we send 10 fire companies out there. And what it was they were flaring a well. There was a problem. Some neighbors called. Nobody knew they were flaring a well. They thought the neighbor's barn was on fire. So here we send all these volunteers out there thinking there's a problem. And they're thinking, well, you idiots, it was a well flare. Well, we didn't know. So we called, and we were told, we don't have to tell you. Well, now they got to tell us. So that's the kind, we're not ignoring it, but we are oftentimes told, because there is, under the Oil and Gas Act, says, county hands off. That's changing a little. We're oftentimes told to mind our own business. We have no authority or control, although we continue to try and get some, just for the people and the fire company's safety. So I wanted you to know that before you left last time, that
Okay,
they're not
thank you.
always cooperative with us.
Well, they're good neighbors. They claim to be good neighbors, so I would think they'd want to be cooperative.
Most of them are now. They are coming around, and if there's an issue, they call ahead of time, say, here's what's going on, everything's under control.
Then, you mentioned compressor stations. Did you get a report on the latest compressor station incident over on the Teal? You've been
Yeah.
informed?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
So they keep you updated on the compressor
Yeah.
station incident?
Yeah, our public safety director was there when it was happening, and his whole crew was there, and we knew what was going on. And, again, another lesson learned by the gas company, that there is enough salt and corrosive material coming out of the ground that will deteriorate the piping and cause the fire.
Yeah.
And so that's another issue that they're dealing with now to try and come up with remedies. But, at the same token, we have other compressor stations in the county that are functioning that don't have all these problems that this compressor station has had. Now, the only good thing that came out of that whole thing was that, first of all, there was no loss of life, nobody got injured, but it did give our first responders the opportunity to use their new foam truck to put this fire out, which gave them some good practice on what to do with that type of a fire. So that was, It was really good for the first responders to be able to do that and use that piece of equipment for the first time. But at the same time, I think the gas companies at this point are now learning that they've got more issues now they got to deal with than just thinking that they can build this place that'll last for 20 years and there'll be no problems. Well, like I said, other compressor stations in the county are not experiencing the issues that compressor station has been having.
Well, it's early in the game too. We're only about a fifth, maybe a fifth of the way into what's coming in the numbers of compressor stations.
Right.
And well, so we're just at the very fledgling stages of this.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bruce? Yeah, I'd like to revisit something that was said 2 years ago and then make a comment. I believe it was in the summer, but I'm not exactly sure, and there was a big meeting, and there was a young lady who sat right in that, stood right over there by that picture. The question came up of emergencies and what would happen with the EMS people and the fire people, et cetera, et cetera. And she said, and I quote, "The gas companies have told us to stand down. We will bring the bodies to you." Remember that one? It's on tape. You can go check it on YouTube. I think that it's taken a little while, but I'm glad to see that the commissioners, as a body, have started to take some more interest. I would like to make a comment that between the commissioners, law enforcement, and our legal team, well, let me just rephrase that, our district attorney, perhaps you should start looking at telling them what to do in our county, instead of them telling us, "We'll tell you we own you." It's time that you guys, in my opinion, take a stronger hand and say to them, "No, you will not keep doing what you've been doing," and letting us know after it happens.
Bruce,
Yes.
they play the card that's why I made the comment.
That's
There's no state law that says we gotta tell you this.
You are the power in this county, not them.
Tell those people in Harrisburg that.
No,
No,
you tell them in Harrisburg.
We've
Where's
been
Tina?
telling them.
Where's Sandy? Where's Baker? They should be here hearing this.
We've been telling them, Edna. But we're doing what we do anyway.
And we'll continue to tell them. We're not stopping. We will continue to tell them.
Okay, I have something to say. Julie Skinner, Montrose Borough, and also Program Director for Pipeline Safety at Berks, Boxley High in Northampton County. It's a USDOT grant. PHMSA has extended the grant period 2 times. It was to close March 17, and monies are still available, 1.5 million. So I'm here to persuade you to write a grant, and I would like to assist in that. Now, just as Victoria and everybody has expressed concern, I overheard you saying, Commissioner Hall, outside, we're not adequately preparing for our future, the children, as to what's on the ground. So, Pipeline and Informed Planning Alliance, there are many tools that are out there. A pipeline notification system, these adopted in Chester County. More recently, at the Pennsylvania State Association of Townships, they adopted just 2 weeks ago, they adopted a resolution whereby, and if you don't mind, I'd like to read it to you. If I can find it, and I can. Here's the resolution. Resolve that Pennsylvania State Association of Townships seek legislation to provide a regulatory environment for siting pipelines not presently administered by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission or the Pennsylvania Public Utilities Commission, including a notification framework that would require pipeline companies giving written notice to municipalities, counties, easement holding non-governmental entities, and property owners where pipeline activities are planned. Written notice shall be provided prior to submittal to the regulatory agency for review or approval. As you know, we need more of this. These gathering lines have gone in with little knowledge and at breakneck speed. But going down the road, we need to know where they are, and our children need to know where they are. So I'm asking if I could meet with you, or you could direct me. There are many things, there's many opportunities we could do with this grant. And I think it's worth your time to consider it, to do this.
Schedule a meeting that you need to meet with us.
Please.
Don't disagree with you.
Okay, and it will
So,
strengthen
check with the chief clerk
it'll
and-
strengthen your ability to do
A lot of issues with these
good
pipe
government.
things.
Yes, indeed.
Lots of trouble.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Vera?
Yeah, I'd like to know, with the Teal Station fire, was there any explosion? Can you give any details, what actually got damaged, what happened in that incident?
My understanding was the dehumidifier on the line is the information I got back. My understanding was there was no explosion, that it was just a fire, and that it was put out without any issues.
And what was
Who gave you
damaged?
that information?
That came from my public safety director.
Okay.
You're aware that that compressor station has a horrible history. And
That's why- yeah, I brought that up
I live
before,
very
yeah.
close to it, and we have frequent unscheduled blow-offs, which I've given Williams the dates of and asked for an explanation of them. They're unscheduled, they require people to come and do something to stop whatever is happening, and we are never notified. We never receive a courtesy call. I mean, there's a handful of us living right next to it. I think I've been asking for that How to Live by a Compressor Station for years now, that brochure, and how to live in a gas field. Can't get any answers on that. But that compressor station has an ongoing history of mishaps, and I'm very concerned about it. But I think we've been getting plenty of warnings, which whatever your faith is, I think we've been getting lots of warnings here in Susquehanna County on what could happen, and we really need to be more vigilant. And I understand your position, but I think we can all admit now that the golden goose is not leaving. I remember the very beginning of all this, we were frightened that we would lose this economic opportunity. And I'm not even going to go there. I appreciate the fact that people have jobs. I respect that, food on the table. But at what expense? I think that, we know they're not leaving our area. You see the buildings going in, the Taj Mahal is being built, so they're here. So I do agree that it's time to take a stronger stance. And I'm really calling them out on being the good neighbors that they tell everyone they are. So on all levels, you should be treated with respect. You should be given all the information you need. It is still your county.
The last I knew, they were working on a notification system to notify the residents in the area when they were doing these blow-offs, and you're telling me that you're not getting notified.
Never. I've even met with their spokesperson who came to my home, checked me out, and I gave him my list of complaints, and nothing has been done since.
Okay.
Motion to
I
adjourn.
still have more. I wanted to know, what was damaged in the Teal Station? Because I heard there was pipe that was damaged. I heard electrical wiring was damaged. What did you get? What kind of information did you
Pretty
get?
much the same thing.
The same thing?
At the dehumidifier, yeah.
And then, is it online right now, as far as you know?
That I couldn't tell you.
And then when you mentioned this compressor station having problems, Lathrop Station had explosion, fire, you know that, of course. The Williams Central Station had explosion, fire, damage, both of them. So it's not just this station that has ongoing problems. The others, who are even newer, more recent than Teal. Teal is an older station. It's maybe, 2 or 3 years old, 3 or 4? What do you think as far as Teal?
Oh, gosh.
It's older,
4 or
yeah.
5.
Easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
it's
Yeah, 6, 7 years.
yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's 6 or 7 years old, but now we're talking the ones who are 2 years old, already had their explosion, fire, and damage, extensive damage, where they had to replace a compressor, where they had to replace parts of the building. So it's not just this Teal station that we're concerned about. And I'd like to also ask what you think about the Senate Bill 1236. This was in the Rocket Courier. Do you support that bill as far as increasing transparency for landowners and royalty payments and records of gas wells? Do you know anything about that one?
I know
Yeah,
there's,
it's too little too late.
right.
They should have done this, and were told to do it 4 years ago. So now they wait till there's 99% of the leases all signed, so now there's no penalty.
Could I add to that? In 2008, I went to Tina Pickett about that very issue. So, you know, she's trying to do something now, but I totally agree with you, too little, too late.
Should have done it back then, and they were told to do it then.
But
They
again,
didn't.
it goes back to, they were worried that they were going to scare the industry away. So, you know, they were coddled and so forth.
Right.
So do you feel that bill has sufficient information in it right now, the way it's written, or would you like something changed in it?
Lots needs to be changed in it.
Yeah.
Can you give any details?
No.
Each one of these comments is separate. The first is, we are going to be conducting or hiring the same company to do a water test on our water and our pond for the third time in 4 years at a cost of well over $1,000 when you add in the test for all the heavy metal stuff. Number two, I already forgot number three, but number two, about a month ago, Doug McClinko called into the Mark Levin show. And
And he's who? Let them know.
he's
People know.
the commissioner of Bradford County.
Okay.
And one of the comments that he made about the gas industry, he said the honeymoon is over. And I think the honeymoon, as far as I'm concerned, there's never a honeymoon. They just came in and we said, you know, for a couple of hot dogs and funding a hospital, we own you. I think, yeah, I'll just reiterate it. It's time. You can't tell, we shouldn't allow people who are not good neighbors to basically say to us, we not only own this, but we'll tell you what we want when we want it. That's not how it should work. That's all I have to say.
Last one.
I just wanted to ask too that according to the Rocket Courier, they said all these billions are coming into the state from the gas industry, all this money. And I'd like to, and then they mentioned $750 million in road construction investments since 2008. With all that money, look at the way our roads are. They're the worst ever. So I'd like to know where that money went. And they talk about $40 million went to DEP to improve the permitting and enforcement fees. Right now we have 3 DEP inspectors for oil and gas for 6 counties. Where is all that money going? We can't even get enough inspectors for the thousands of wells in 6 counties. So we need, if anything, 3 inspectors per county, and we don't have it. So do you know what's going on with this money? What do the representatives tell you? Yaw, Majors, Marino, what do they tell us?
All distributed out of Harrisburg.
And why can't we get enough of it so that we have decent roads and we have enough inspectors to keep on top of what's happening here?
Well, I also sit on the Northern Tier Transportation Committee. We met last week and discussed the roads. And I can tell you I was in a fight with Central Transportation about why is so much work getting done south of Scranton, Scranton South, and not enough work getting done in the northern counties. And again, the answers we get back from them time and time again is that there's not enough money to fix all the roads in the state of Pennsylvania, and they're working on the roads that have the most travel on them first. You have noticed that there has been a lot of work that's been done in Susquehanna County lately.
Which is what
They're
kind of work?
They're working on patching the roads right now, at least
Right.
getting them patched.
You mean the potholes are getting
Yep,
filled?
Yep, 706 on both ends. They also did work on 858, and they've also done work on 547, 492, Route 11, and they're trying to get around to them as fast as they can to do the patchwork. There are a few roads that have major work that's supposed to be done to them this year. 706, of course, through Montrose, back out to Tiffany Corners. And that project's behind. My understanding they've run into a couple of issues on that with some old concrete that's in the ground here in the borough that has asbestos into it. So they're trying to figure out what to do with that.
Is that why it's scraped down to
Well,
a lower level?
They scraped it down to try and smooth it out a little bit to get rid of some of the other issues they had with it. Route 29 north to the Scranton to the state line, that's targeted this year. There's supposed to be a lot of work done on that, trying to fix those slides again.
And then do you see
But,
Summit Hill? Summit Hill is absolutely should be closed down on
they're in
706.
process of- They're in the 706 to Summit Hill, they're working on patching that right now. They're on it again this morning, working on it.
And
they're
now why
patching.
isn't the gas industry paying for that since they're using that road over and over again 24/7? Why aren't they out there fixing those roads?
Well, those roads have always been an issue in Susquehanna County, especially 706 out of Summit Hill. That's always been an issue, and it always comes apart. The way the road was originally built and the drainage systems is the problem. The issue's been is trying to determine what to do with that hill. They went to a plan of putting a third lane in coming up that hill, but the cost would be so extravagant that nothing else in this county would even get done. So now they're looking at what can they do to, just go back to the 2 lanes and put the right drainage in and the right base in, so this road will be good. So the engineers are working on it. Right now, it's 706 from the red light back to Tiffany Corners, and then the next section will go out to the Sharp Corner, then the next section will go down the hill to the summit. And they're all in planning right now to get done. And they're all targeted to get done. So, and I think I've got a meeting in 2 weeks in Scranton where I'll be getting the maps from PennDOT as to far as to the road work this summer as to what's getting done, and also a list of the bridges and what years, what the dates are on those for replacement and repairs. So I'll have that hopefully in a couple of weeks.
And when will that light get turned on at the corner where the animal shelter is? It's been sitting there for how many months? And they just put it up and nothing gets turned on? Why is that delayed?
Well, they're waiting to finish the road apparently, but that's not a county issue, that's a township and borough issue. You're more than welcome to talk to them.
And I just want to submit also this map to you that shows all the water contamination in the 2 counties, Susquehanna and Bradford. I'm going to give you the map that was compiled showing all the complaints. Every township, 3/4 of every township in each county has water complaints since gas drilling. We have a water emergency situation with the damage here, and this is from DEP records. We need to contact the DEP and see what can be done with all of these complaints. So I'm going to hand this to you at the end of the meeting.
Right.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn, second. Did you have something, Edna?
Yeah, I wanted to have two thoughts. First of all, in Forest Lake, there's a road that's by the, I think it's the Millard Well. The road is absolutely, we called the plumber, and when he came down the road, it blew a tire, and the condition of the road causes tires to blow. I'm just thinking to myself, they're working there, the gas industry's there, and they should be maintaining that road in as optimum condition as they can, because the thought occurred to me, if an ambulance or a police car had to go down that road, they can't afford to pop a tire. At least I don't think they can afford to pop a tire. I wouldn't want, if they were coming to me, I wouldn't want that to happen. That's number one. And the other thing is, township supervisors know what's going on. And a phone call to them and saying, look, contact us when something is going on. Don't wait, and don't wait for the gas companies to tell you what's going on. Contact them first, because they're on the spot. They're there. Would be a very good thing, and they can give you a report at the end of every month or whatever to let you know what's going on firsthand. You don't have
an open line.
And it's if there's an open line that way, you always have that information. Our town supervisor, our guy, aces. I don't know what you think about, but he's aces. And he knows every single thing that's going on. And he's got a hawk eye over everything. If all of your town supervisors did the same thing.
And actually, I have a letter drafted.
It makes
it's probably going to go out today. That goes to all the municipalities, the townships, to try and create that open line.
Yeah, that's your first line of defense.
Right. And as far as that road that you're talking about, is that a township road or a state road?
I believe it's a township road. It's Warner Road.
Okay.
Mike would know that.
If they're using the township roads,
They get them fixed.
You know what?
If you tell them, they make them fix them.
They're on it. Yeah, they're on
Yeah.
it. But the point is that, like I said, I'm just thinking in terms of an emergency vehicle having to make its way down that road. Because we live in the back roads. So you want to know that they can get through.
We'll have to check, because usually on the township roads, they're bonded, and usually there's an agreement between the township supervisors and the gas companies for those roads.
I don't think that our town supervisor and our town can maintain the road because of what has been done to that road.
No, they're not the ones, the township's not to maintain it. What it is they're supposed to usually have an agreement with the gas company to maintain the road. So I'm not sure what that agreement is, but we'll have to reach out to them and see what's going on and see if they need any assistance. All right?
Yeah, one more thing. When you send a letter out, if you don't get a response, well, maybe consider either one of you 50-50, making a phone call. People love to hear the human voice.
Bruce, I can tell you, I represent a bunch of townships. They all keep these gas companies' feet to the fire. If you call, there's a problem with the road. If the township's not there, they got the gas guys there to fix it.
Not just the road, the sneaking on in the middle of the night, the moving stuff when they shouldn't be moving it, the flaring when they shouldn't, or know it out. All this stuff, they know it. They'll tell you, if they know they have an open line to you guys, then maybe we can get Tina, Sandy, Jean, and Lisa.
What we're
Take a
saying
look at all of
is
this.
strengthen
Do
your
something.
grassroots. Once you do that, you don't have a problem because everything is going to come from the grass up. And that's what you've got to look for. It's evident that the situation has to be taken into your hands.
And that'll start today, like I said, with the letters going out, with the email addresses so they can respond, as well as by letter. So hopefully we can start the ball rolling. Okay. Have a motion adjourned. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
Mike, can I give you this? This is
a
the,
week to put this together and submit it.
Talk with the chief here, put this in. Make arrangements, call and meet.
map of the water, and then who to call
Great.
for DEP complaints.
Every township is a wall. Every single one. Huh? Can I have your? I don't